You are now listening to Feeding Off Each Other.
Boom, we're live. Is that? Have you guys heard of that phrase before? Is this original? I just made that up off the top of my head. I swear to God.
I think it's brand new.
Is it brand? Is that actually a thing?
I don't know. I don't think I've heard anybody start a podcast with that before.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully there's no sounds on the soundboard that prove that actually someone else has been using that for years.
Boom, and we're
Damn it, Joe Rogan. Oh, he's got all the good phrases.
Oh,
Sorry, let's get a clean one.
boom, and we're live.
And here we are. Welcome back to another podcast. It's been a while, guys.
it has been a while.
It's been a hot minute.
It's been like, I feel like maybe a month since we've been together.
Dave, you're back. You survived the dirty South. You weren't here the last one.
That's right. I was in Nashville, Tennessee, listening to country music with my parents.
Wow.
Why'd you go there?
My sister was going to a wedding in Ontario, and they had my sister and my brother-in-law have a baby, and my parents decided to go to Ontario to babysit the baby while they went to the wedding, and then we also have family there. So on the front end of my trip, I went to Ontario for a few days and visited family, and then my dad wanted to use that as a launching pad to go to a few other places, so he'd always wanted to go to Nashville. Boom, hit Nashville. Then I flew home, and then he went to New York, and then they went back to Ontario on the way back, and then they came home.
Cool. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was really fun.
What was the most memorable moment on the trip?
Honestly, you guys are going to love this. I think cycling around the river for the day was maybe...
Dave went bicycling?
Yeah. It was a 5-hour day in total of cycling, and it was like 34 degrees Celsius.
Did you turn on your Strava?
No, I didn't.
Well, then
even
it
think
didn't
about
happen. You can't prove it. So
Shit.
better luck next time.
Yeah.
Pure lies.
Cycling.
Yeah,
You know,
it
it's
was-
funny that you mentioned that because I was thinking that between now and the next time that we do a podcast where it's just us, we should take you for a mountain bike ride. And then next time we break down the mountain bike ride.
We should.
We should do it like during the mountain bike ride.
Do the podcast?
I guess we could do that. We just put lav mics on and go downhill.
Yeah. That doesn't sound any more dangerous than normal.
So I was thinking about this yesterday. We've never taken you on a bike ride.
I
period.
know. People ask me about it, and I'm like, I don't know.
Well, you haven't asked.
Well, it's a two-way
I
street.
feel like I just.
Oh.
I feel okay. We've had this conversation many times. I feel like we've invited you, but then kind of had cold feet because we realized this is a crazy long trip. We're gonna kill Dave if we bring
Right.
it on this one.
Well, I think-
We almost brought you on the bike packing trip we did recently.
Yeah, but I think you got to walk before you run sort of thing.
We would have killed you on that trip.
Yeah.
That would have been like mean, actually.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been good.
Well, and also it's that kind of thing where I don't want to hold anybody back. You know, it's
Yeah,
kind
but
of...
we're not those people.
Well,
You're not,
everybody's a little bit those people, you know. I play hockey, and you invite someone to play that, and you think they've kind of played, and then they're so bad, and it's like you're kind of like,
names.
hey, good effort out there, but you know, on the bench, you're like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, we would have been like stressing to get to our campsites and all
Yeah.
that. We would have killed you, but I feel like we could line up a little ride that's safe for the whole family.
I'm into it. I'm still trying to learn how to do a graceful just get on a bike. That's
Things
my
we
could
take
teach
for
you that.
granted.
That's my biggest insecurity about riding a bike. It's I have really tight hips, so it's like really hard for me to like swing around onto a bike and then do that like kind of rolling one leg on, one leg across. It's like when I learned how to shuffle cards, and it was like a really big turning point in my life. Like that's going to be the next card shuffling for me.
Jumping on a bike and shuffling cars is basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's like riding a bicycle.
One leg at a time. I'm racking through all the videos. You just reminded me that there's a video where you play a background actor on a bike and you had to quickly get off a bike and then
Yes.
like ride away. Which video was that?
That was the
guys remember that?
the Porsche Cayenne.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
You dressed up as me. You
Or
had
the
a full
Porsche.
face
Yeah,
on
yeah,
and
yeah.
my jersey, and there was even a website or a photo on our website, the IFHT Films website. Yeah, where it looked like it
Oh
was
no,
me,
that's a
but it was
different.
actually you.
Yeah, that's a different moment though. That's when we
Yeah.
were on the e-bike, and the other
Yeah,
one
yeah.
was
Oh, well, yeah, you killed it. You know how to get on a bike.
yeah. No, I can get on, but I'm not good at doing the like, you know, rolling start.
Okay. Well, I was thinking that we could take him on a ride
I think we should.
between then and I don't know. Maybe not next time we do one of these podcasts, but sometime.
Yeah.
This is going to be the topic of like the next 6 podcasts. So
So
we
do
haven't
it.
gone for that ride yet.
So we didn't introduce what our podcast is. Are we worried?
Oh yeah, Dave wanted to do this thing.
Yeah, Dave's been breaking down the podcast. He's looking at it, going through it with a fine-tooth comb. I'm just trying to let go and let it be, and
I
it is
know,
what it is.
I
But we're trying to get better at this thing, and
Yeah.
we suck at the intros, we suck at the outros, we suck at everything in between. But eventually, we'll figure it all out, I guess.
Intros. Okay, do it. So at least we did it.
Okay.
Yeah, did.
Welcome to Feeding Off Each Other, the podcast where we talk to interesting people such as filmmakers, comedians, molecular biologists,
That's not true.
etc. With me, as always, are
Jason Lucas.
and
Me, Matt, Dennison.
nice, and I'm David Wiggins. I was gonna say another thing. We don't know where you're tuning in from, but just so you know, this podcast is also available on YouTube. So if you're just listening, you could also see our beautiful faces.
Wow, video form.
Yeah, and then subscribe and stuff.
Okay, so what? We have to say that every time now?
No, you don't have to. And I mean, that could go at the end, but these episodes are really long. So I was like, maybe we put it up front.
Well, some people may forget, you know?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
There's plenty of people that I watch and I don't
Yeah.
subscribe because I just don't think about it.
Yeah.
How are we feeling on the name so far at this stage of the iPod game? We're at, this is episode 6?
You said the
Or 7?
iPod game?
The iPod game? Oh, podcast game.
The
Sorry.
iPod just got discontinued.
Oh,
forever.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the game's over.
No, I just saved up finally.
He had so many games on his iPod.
Snake.
Snake 2,
Snake 1 again.
Eel, which is just water snake.
This is episode 7.
Yes.
How are we feeling on the name?
Still love it.
Should we change it?
I'm like full Stockholm syndrome where I'm just comfortable with it now.
Everyone loves it. We've since launched this. I think this is maybe the first episode we're recording since we put it out.
It 100%.
Yeah, but there was
yeah.
one comment that said that the name is terrible.
Oh, yeah, and that
whatever.
didn't he say
And we're
like teenage boys or something?
we're stuck in our teenage
We're
years.
stuck in our teenage
and
years.
he's not
That's
wrong.
super
I got a
right.
bike on my wall. I'm gonna
But
make a bunch of fart jokes today.
Okay, if that was you, comment on the video that this is so that we know that you're full of shit and you're actually just you keep listening so you don't mind that we're
Yeah, if
in
he
our
comes
teenage.
back and
Yeah.
comments, that first
We're
comment's out
onto
the
you.
window.
Yeah, we're killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, who leaves YouTube comments?
Yeah, that's true.
People who are still living in their teenage years, perhaps? Maybe? Is that so bad?
I think
I'm
if you're-
connected to my youth.
If you're a creator of content, you're not in your teenage years. You're killing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the age we live in. You
Look,
can
we
leave a
got
comment.
we got fancy microphones. We got a soundboard. You know.
We got to stop reading comments.
So, admittedly, we're gonna try to get better at our soundboard game.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Before this podcast, we just uploaded a whole bunch of new sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And how many do we have on there at one time? Like 16?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to limit it because if you have too many,
Oh man, I would need like hundreds.
it gets too challenging.
One of
though
these
to-
days, we're gonna get the iPad. We're gonna get an app, and
we're gonna do it.
I'm gonna get involved.
Dave's
I'm
going to go on a
down.
bike ride. We're going to get an iPad.
All of these dreams and more.
We're going to grow up.
This is like getting drunk with your friends and then making a lot of future plans. Like, oh, we should open a bar. Wouldn't that be so sweet? And at this bar, though, everyone has to wear backwards hat. And it's called backwards. And
Hey
then
guys,
you never do that
I
plan.
have a legitimate business idea. I'm almost hesitant to even say this on the mic because someone's gonna take it.
Cryptocurrency.
How do you feel about Doge? No, ice cream. Fancy ice cream place in West Vancouver. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist.
Really?
No.
Okay.
If you want fancy ice cream on the North Shore somewhere, you got to go to Lonsdale. The only other place in West Vancouver is Dairy Queen. There's no place. I mean, there's like maybe one other place, like a bakery you can get some ice cream, but there's nothing. And that's like my dream, guys. Let's open an ice cream shop.
Fancy ice cream that's not Dairy Queen, Lactose King.
Lactose King?
Yeah,
Well-
like Dairy Queen, Lactose King.
Oh,
That's all right. It's not as good as
that's-
Brooke's name. She had the Big Liquor. Well, that's a good one.
Isn't that her
Like
your
the Big
nickname
Dipper,
for
Big
you?
Liquor.
Or, oh, okay.
Hey, whoa, hey.
Oh,
hey.
hey.
Got your commercial.
My mom's listening to this thing, okay? I'm going to have to hear from her about the thing she didn't like.
That was a bad one.
Hey,
All
so
right.
today we don't have a guest, as you may have figured out, because you either read the title or you're watching
Excuse
us on
me.
YouTube.
We do have a guest.
We have a guest?
Who?
Jason
Jason
Lucas.
is the
Oh.
guest?
Yes.
Fuck.
What?
Jason's our guest.
He's our guest.
Yeah.
Was okay. I mean, I can fly. We can. This is like the Jason Lucas interview?
This is the Jason Lucas interview.
Oh, good.
I didn't prepare at all for this.
Neither
I did.
I
wrote,
hardly know the guest.
I wrote an intro.
Jeez, you should have gave me a heads up. I would have done some research on this guy.
I literally gave you a message about it earlier, and you wrote, sure.
I think you asked like 3 questions though. And then it was just like, sure.
All right.
Because I feel like I was like, I'm down for whatever, but Jason was the one who really should have the
And he was
answer.
like, he also
What
said,
he-
sure.
No, I didn't. I don't think I answered.
Did you not?
I don't think so.
No.
Oh.
So he's not even on board.
I was working.
So, I mean, he's the guest. What does that mean? We're going to like go hard on the questions?
Yeah, I got questions and I got an intro.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to.
Have you written an intro yet?
No.
Yeah. Wow. So this is your first intro.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
And I'm
grade it.
excited
You
about
haven't
it.
read an intro.
No.
He hasn't wrote
no,
an intro.
I didn't write one. I think I read Peter
read-
Chow's.
you read
Okay.
PCs.
And we can reference that because we know, yeah. Okay, so do we want to do a Jason interview or nay? Or do we want to just go off the cuff?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm into it.
All right.
Yeah. Let's see where it goes.
Should I do my intro?
I'm just
Do your intro.
self-conscious. I don't know the guy.
Ahem. Oh, okay, wait. I'm going to do it.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my
The
God.
anticipation, man. This better be a good intro.
Okay, sidebar. Do you guys know Bar Mitzvah Boy from SNL?
Oh.
Vanessa Bayer's character?
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I
Oh,
went,
yeah.
ahem.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one, actually.
All right.
He was always going, she's going like, ahem, and then like looks like she's going to say
And then
something
she
and
like
then
looks
flips
at
the page.
And then she like looks at the screen.
Yeah, it's classic.
Okay. Raised on the flatlands of Richmond, British Columbia, Canada, our next guest dreamed of altitudinal adventures. And let me tell you, he found them. His hobby of shredding the gnar quickly blossomed into a passion. And after his fortuitous introduction to another pubescent shredder, Matt Dennison, their mutual passion for mountain biking morphed into a love of filmmaking and the unlikely birth of I Fucking Hate That Films. Jason's nose for comedy and movie star good looks and charisma quickly helped catapult IFHT Films into the stratosphere. The boys didn't stop there, and over 10 years later are going strong today. Along the way were notable gigs at Rocky Mountain Bikes and, of course, Pink Bike, which he became the face of as the Pink Bike Academy reality series host. Ladies and gentlemen, the nicest man in mountain biking, my friend, your friend, Jason Lucas.
Oh,
Wow.
play the air horn or something lit.
Wait.
Oh God.
Well, this is the problem.
That's what I'm saying.
This
We
is
need the
problem.
iPad. It's fine.
Damn, Dave. I'm bricked.
I made the intro. Even I made the intro
I
like
thought you
3
meant you wrote
sentences
it.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, you guys are like Salt and Pepper.
Like the band.
Yeah, Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
Oh man, it would have been so good if I had the sound effect that was like push it real good.
Yes.
You mean the way that one of us is black and one of us is white?
No, Salt and Pepper are both black.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. We know this about us. Well, Jason, thanks so much for coming.
Wow.
And we know you have a busy schedule.
So busy. You actually know my schedule. You can see it on Google.
We waited months for you to be here. And shout out to your agent for hooking us up. And
Yeah. Thanks, Dave.
I'd like an intro report.
Little long.
yeah, definitely a little long.
Little
you changed
wordy.
your voice, which was fun. So I'll give you a point.
Thank
you.
you.
You had a radio voice going on there.
Thank you.
Yeah. 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you like a 5 out of 10, just so you could have room for improvement. You know, I want
I
to
feel
see.
like everyone else gives like 9s and 10s to each other. And
Yeah, because we wrote all the other intros.
we don't know them. We have to be nice to them.
God damn. I felt good about it. I used the
is-
word.
it's
I used the
good.
word
It's a pass.
altitudinal.
Yeah, I also was like, I don't know what that means.
It's like you want to get it up into the high parts of the mountain.
Okay. Sure.
Oh, God damn it.
So what are we doing here? Are we asking Jason the hardball questions from what we want to know about Jason, or are we asking questions on behalf of the audience, what we think
Yeah. I
they
actually
want to
don't know the format. Like we're not.
I just thought we'd do it like we did at any of the other ones where we just ask questions that we want to know. And just get him talking. Get him telling us about his life.
Okay.
Get into it.
So much to know. Where do we start?
I'm gonna go off the board.
Oh God. Mercy.
Okay, here's a hardball. What's your favorite movie?
That's it.
Yeah. That's the question.
That's why we're here today.
Hot Rod.
All right,
Oh, well, this
go.
brings us to our this or that.
Oh,
We can't get into it that early.
This brings us to the
podcast
end
is
of the
wrapping it
episode.
up.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, no, Hot Rod for sure.
Hot Rod.
What do you love about it?
I think it was just one of those movies that came at the right point in my life where it like hit extra funny for some reason, and like a buddy at the time watched it and we were both like fired up on it, and I think because it involves stunts and a little bit of biking that I had like a little bit of parallel going on there. But I fucking love The Lonely Island in general, and then just combining all those facets. I think I watched it 50 times, and with this buddy I recreated shot for shot the scene of them handing out flyers around the town with Richardson, where they're like dancing around, and we did that around Nanaimo. So I was pretty into the movie.
Oh. See, I didn't know that backstory.
Yeah.
So many classic scenes from that. I was inspired by the scene where he falls down the mountain and it just keeps cutting and he's falling and falling. That's where we remade the. Actually, you came up with the idea to throw Howie's dummy off the cliff.
The Hot Rod inspired idea.
Yeah, because I was like filming the next day and I didn't have an idea. And I said, like, I need ideas. And then you said, how about something inspired by Hot Rod? And then like an hour later, I'm making a dummy at 11 a.m. or a p.m. at night. Yeah.
They also filmed that like around here. So I feel like that as well,
yeah.
like helped draw another connection because it looked like where we grew up.
Yeah, was it filmed in Chilliwack or something?
I think Maple Ridge.
Oh, Maple Ridge, yeah.
Langley.
Yes.
Yeah, like a bunch of spots.
Yeah.
Such a good movie. I feel like every time it's on, you gotta watch it.
It's a cult classic for sure. And then they went on to like do stuff like Popstar and
MacGruber.
yeah, I guess to some degree.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
They helped write and direct that.
Yeah, but I feel like with Popstar, like they're starring in it too, and it has like
it's more of like
the gang.
a Lonely Island.
Yeah, they've gone on to
Production.
do Brooklyn Nine-Nine and all those other things as well.
What was the first Lonely Island video you guys saw?
Sports.
Lazy Sunday.
Ooh.
You saw? There's no way you saw sports before Lazy Sunday.
I think so.
How?
I don't know. That was like that part of my life now is like barely in the brain, but it was definitely
It's there.
sports.
It's there. You're just not accessing it.
Yeah.
So the story about Lazy Sunday though is it was the first video that went viral on YouTube.
Was it really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was it was late 2005, Christmas time 2005, right? Because they're talking about the Chronicles of Narnia, and I remember like that was the first thing I ever opened on YouTube was Lonely Island's Lazy Sunday.
I don't think I ever really enjoyed that one or really understood it.
Oh,
'Cause
man.
I wasn't. I didn't watch the show.
Oh, I just remember being
Or
like,
movie.
this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like I thought it was the greatest.
I remember the Nintendo Power Hour.
I was gonna say that one too. It was pretty early.
I don't even think I know what that is.
Yorma?
Oh, it's
Did it?
just
I've
that
never
one
seen
inspired something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You should watch it after. I don't know if it holds
I'm
up
down.
anymore, but
that inspired some sketch stuff from us too.
Yeah.
We're borrowing lots of ideas. So why did you like? It's kind of hard. I don't even know if I can answer this myself. But what drew you to comedy and things that are funny and being funny and making jokes and like? Did you have anybody in your life that was funny and like inspired you to be that guy?
it's a good question. This is an interview. Cool.
Yeah, I just thought of that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Nice.
Good. That's a harder ball
Didn't
than
you
what's your
write it?
favorite movie. Jesus.
We started
being-
real soft.
I was being sarcastic.
Okay, hardball question. Do you like ice cream?
Puppies or kittens?
Yeah, puppies. I feel like I was the same with you, Matt, like that kid in elementary school that like thrived off attention and like a lot of like tripping myself and falling in the middle of the classroom and like a couple kids laugh and I'm like, got him. And like instead of academics where I didn't give a shit about that, I was like, I want to just like make people laugh and make people happy. And it's like, I guess when you're growing up, you try and like establish what you are and what you're going to be through those actions, whether it's like studying sports or like comedy and stuff like that. But I don't think there was a person. I want to say a lot of it was inspired by like Simpsons and Family Guy and like the cartoons growing up, and just loving that style of humor, like slapsticky, a little bit gnarly, a little bit like hot button issue, that sort of stuff.
Who was the funniest person in your life growing up?
I don't know, Peter Griffin. Like, I think a lot of it was like internet driven, and like that we kind of grew up like right when that sort of viral video content was happening, and like, you know, like things like Days on Day were coming out and Lonely Island and like those really early viral videos. And I feel like I spent a lot of time on the computer. So I don't think there was anyone physically there that was like the funniest person.
So
That's all we have. Thanks for your time, Jason.
Wow. Thank goodness.
We gotta get to the hardball questions here.
Favorite sauce.
So I'm curious to
Wait, can I just say something here? If you're
Yeah.
watching this on YouTube and you're wondering why do we have laptops, this is a practice round for the first time that we have a guest remotely, because
Yeah.
we've had everybody in here in the room with us, but sometimes it's just not going to be possible, and so we wanted to give this a go ourselves and screw it up with ourselves.
also, if it works nicely, maybe this is just a way to get more faces on screens. So
Sorry, I had to
Go
cut you
on,
off.
yeah,
Go on,
yeah.
yeah.
no, I don't know if we want to go, you know, like sequential, because Matt did a really
Okay.
nice job of starting up early in life, but
Well,
In the womb.
no, I think it's a
let's
good,
go back.
good way to go about it.
Well, Jason, what was your very first interest in life?
Oh my God.
Like very first thing where you became obsessed with it?
Oh, I unfortunately, I got to say like video games, like
Which video games?
Nintendo, like Super Mario 64. That was like our era. That was as early as I could remember. I got an N64 for Christmas. Very similar scene to what we put into How to Be a 90s Gamer. Like actually,
I was going to say, what was your reaction? Like, can you,
Now without blowing out my throat. And I got, I think, Star Fox maybe with it, and Ocarina of Time. And
All bangers.
yeah, like I remember getting that, and then I just remember sitting in front of the TV for long amounts of time playing the shit out of those games. So that, and then I guess like football. I played a lot of football as a kid, a lot of football, and that was like my first thing where I was like, yeah, I could grow up to be like a pro football player. That, as a kid, you know, like that's what you,
what kind of league, or what was it like?
the city league at first, so like Richmond Raiders, they were called after the Oakland Raiders.
But is
And-
that like touch or
No,
flag?
it was flag at first, and then when you get big enough, they let you hit each other pretty hard. So I did that for quite a few years, and that was like, I guess, oh god, because there was also mountain biking beside that, which was pretty early on. That was like when I was 10 years old, so pretty early stages. But back then, mountain biking was not a career, and filmmaking was not in my mind. So I was like, yeah, I'll just be a pro football player, I guess, or like that's pretty easy to do, right? So
you were good.
I don't know.
You must have been okay,
The
but
team was pretty good. Yeah,
you would have had to been good enough for that to even be a consideration, because I played sports and I was terrible, and no part of my mind was like, yeah, I'll be a soccer player.
I think I was pretty good at the positions I played, but the team, like, it's such a team sport that like it doesn't matter if you're really good. If your team's not, like, you're screwed. So I think everyone was above average.
Sounds diplomatic. So Jason could have been a pro football player.
I don't even know how to play football. Hardly understand it when I watch it.
It's fun.
It is fun.
It's definitely fun.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's a good game just to like play at the beach or whatever too. Like just
Yeah.
tag.
Even just like knowing now how to throw a football spiral confidently is like
Yeah.
a nice feeling.
I can sometimes do it.
Yeah, for sure. But that all ended when I think I got a concussion mountain biking, and they were like, "You can't play football for maybe a month, basically." And I was like, "Well, I guess I'll just keep mountain biking. That's safe." And so I just kept doing that, and then I finished the year off playing football. I was like, "No, mountain biking is way better."
Yeah, it's funny because you're football known for concussions.
Yes.
But you get the concussion in mountain biking, they're like, you can't play football. You're like, but the thing I got the concussion and I can keep doing that. They're like, cool.
Well, no one's gonna tell you can't go mountain biking.
Right. There's no league
There's no
involved.
league.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
So I guess you and I met when we were, I'm going to say 14.
Yeah, I think 14.
What was childhood like for Jason Lucas growing up before we met?
The Matt era.
Yeah. What was life like? You live
It's a lot less funny. Yeah, so I grew up in Steveston in Richmond, which is like the southwestern tip of Richmond. It's like a fishing village that's now much more gentrified and fancy.
Oh, just like Whistler. What once was a fishing
yeah.
village.
Yeah, that's it.
If you've seen our Wismas video.
And I think it was a lot of like, it was a quiet, sleepy part of town. So a lot of old people, a lot of retirees, and a decent amount of kids as well. So just a lot of running around through the neighborhood, and I don't know, just kind of getting up to no good a lot of the times, but also like going out into the dike, way out into the dike, and like building tree forts and doing pretty like classic 90s kid stuff, I feel like. But yeah, I honestly can't remember a ton of that time.
What was family life like?
Well, I just grew up with a mom, no dad, so she did a good job, because I was probably a pretty big piece of shit at times.
An only child.
And only child, no brother or sister or anything. So yeah, we lived in like a pretty normal house. I ate every meal, so I feel like she crushed it on that end. But I remember like when I was getting into mountain biking, or like when I wanted a mountain bike. Like I had a bike, but not like a good bike, and I was getting into this group of friends at school who had mountain bikes, and they took me out and I rode and I trashed the bike, and I was like, oh my God, I need to get a mountain bike. And she's like the type of parent to be like, cool, go buy it then. Like, I'm not buying you this thing that's like maybe a fad or whatever. And that's fair, because they were expensive. So then I got a job. I think I've told this story already on maybe the Tippy podcast.
Yeah, I think it was the Tippy podcast.
But I got a job at the local keg as a dishwasher underage to pay for.
How old were you?
12.
Wow.
Like just turning 13. It was in that summer.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, I need to get this mountain bike.
How did you get the job?
I just went in and applied. And then they were like, how old are you? And I was like, 12, but almost 13.
You're like old enough to party.
Yeah. But they were like, yeah, we need dishwashers, whatever. We'll just pay you like cash for now, and then put you on an hourly wage. But I think it was like $6 an hour. So
does this happen in the restaurant industry still? Like, is there a lot of like underage busboys?
The restaurant industry in general is pretty shady. Like it's wild how much money goes through it that's cash still, and that doesn't get taxed.
Exactly.
And like it's kind of the Wild West still.
Because a lot of like I feel like I was just paid by tips or something. Like there was no like I wasn't on the payroll, so I don't know how they accounted for me. But
yeah, if you got like injured there, you probably weren't injured. As well, just like, yeah, this kid just died.
And didn't someone have a massive bail with glasses or something?
I did drop like a whole like for dishwashing, you carry these big like plastic things full of like maybe 30 glasses, and I like slipped and just like it was like $400 in glassware, and I was like, this is the biggest mistake of my life.
Oh my God.
And
so
then
were you like a pretty big kid? Like did you read as older because you were tall, or were you?
Oh, I think I was definitely like plumper growing up, and then
I meant tall though.
Big and tall. And then through football and mountain biking, I think I like structured out just like muscle wise.
I was thinking though, to get the restaurant job.
Yeah, I don't know if I read
you
older.
Look like a little like when I was 12, I looked 8.
Really?
So I feel like there's no way I would have got that job.
Maybe I did. I don't know.
Yeah, same. Well, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like you were probably a little like, do you remember being in grade like 7, 8? Did you feel like one of the taller kids?
Definitely.
Yeah,
well,
there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Definitely. I was always above average height wise.
Do you feel like the working in that environment from that young of an age, like did it grow you up faster?
For sure. Yeah. Like, because you're basically that old, 12, 13, you're working with like waiters who are in their 30s and like a bit aggressive and a bit like hot headed and like to party. Obviously it's the keg.
Yeah, you're seeing some stuff. There's probably some relationships going on that you're kind of confused about what's going on.
Yeah, totally.
I hear there's a lot of hookups in restaurant environments.
Yeah, the Christmas parties were wild. I did go to them, so that was sweet.
Like, I'm jealous of your early teen
It
years.
wasn't that good.
That sounds pretty sweet.
What do they do when you smashed all the glasses? Did they take it out of your paycheck or?
No, I thought that was going to happen, and that would have been like a month of pay. But they were just kind of like, what, like shit happens, like never do it again kind of thing. And I didn't. I never dropped anything again. But yeah, you learn.
Jeez. Well, I kind of always had the sense that you worked hard to get the things that you wanted, and you said that your mom wasn't the type to just get you the thing, and she was like, well, you want to do that? Go for it. Do it yourself. What were those things that you had to work hardest for when you were young, besides a bike?
Yeah, besides, I think like the ability to go and ride the bike, if that makes sense. Like Wesley, obviously one of our good friends growing up, like he was in a very similar situation to me where we just like got our bikes, and it's like, well, how do you get to the shore? It's like, well, we got a bus. Okay, we got to figure out how to bus there and like get the bikes there. Or we want to go to Whistler. It's like, okay, a parent will drive us, but we got to pay the gas, and then we got to pay for our lift ticket. So it's like, oh my God, okay, this gets expensive really quick. So I feel like just riding the bike, especially outside of Richmond, it's like you kind of got to just work. Maybe it's not always money, maybe it's just time or logistics or whatever. But that, and then I think camera gear started to become like a thing pretty quick, and like computers to make sure you could edit the camera gear or edit the filming you're doing and stuff. That was definitely a thing I paid a lot for.
Did you feel like you were missing something, not growing up with a father figure in your life, or
that's a hard ball.
Did you? I don't know. Was it just like, no, this is life. You didn't know any other kind of, or did you have friends who like you saw their dads and you kind of felt like you wish you had that in your life?
I probably did early on that, like wish I had a dad, because it's like, I think even like I was like, I wish I had a brother or a sister. Like it's grass is always greener situation. But I don't think in the long run, because I never knew my dad, that I was like, I wish I met him. I was like, well, if he didn't want to be like a part of things, I probably don't want to meet this guy. God, I hope he's not listening. But
if you are coming
on the next episode, Jason's dad.
Maury.
Yeah.
But no, I think I don't know. It was just kind of more like, this is just how it is. Like, it's okay. Like, and then you have friends who also have single parents or like or just only children. And you're like, yeah, this is just like a different way of growing up. It's not bad or good or any of the other things.
Yeah, I definitely had that thing where I have two sisters, but I definitely wished I had brothers.
Exactly, right? Like you're like, because
hope they're not listening.
You fantasize about like what that would look like, right? And you see like movies or TV shows with like tight knit families, and you're like, oh yeah, like that.
Or the older brother that is like, hey Timmy, try out this beer, like all those sort of milestone-y things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I didn't want to also have sisters. I just also wanted like I wouldn't delete my sisters for brothers. So just to clarify.
Yeah. No, I feel like I had I still have an awesome grandpa at the time who like definitely stepped in and we did some like dude shit together. Like we went camping and fishing and worked on the farm, and like I think that void got filled pretty well through that interaction. But yeah, no, I think it was totally fine growing up with just the one.
So your grandfather was like a fatherly figure in your life.
Definitely.
Was he in Richmond ever?
Yeah, he kind of bounced around a lot. He was like in New West, Richmond, Surrey, Mission, and now he did the classic thing where he retired in Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I visited him a few times in Florida, and yeah, it's a great idea.
You hunting gators?
We've eaten gators down there.
Gators?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe I have too, actually.
Tastes like
Really?
chicken.
Yeah, in Vancouver somewhere.
I've had kangaroo.
Oh, what?
A what?
You what, mate?
A sick mate.
Sick mate. Yeah, Florida's fucking sweet.
Oh, I'd love to go to Florida with you guys.
Apparently it's going to be all underwater and not that long.
Same with Richmond, though.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'll pack my swim shorts.
Yeah.
Sounds
At least
great.
it'll be warm water.
Your grandpa's like, well, I'm moving back to Richmond. You're like, ooh, bad news. Also underwater.
Yeah. All of the world is sinking.
growing up in Richmond, not the greatest place for mountain biking, but we made it happen. How did you even get into mountain biking? What was the first exposure?
Ooh, a classic question.
Yeah.
So, when we were 10, grade 5, I had a gym teacher who definitely deserves like all the credit. Where he was a mountain biker, a 90s mountain biker, so not like riding Whistler and stuff, but he mountain biked, and he he was kind of like one gym class. He was like, hey, does anyone have bikes and want to come to this place called the Watershed as like a field trip? And we were like, okay, yeah, we got bikes, and like we're boys and dudes, and we're like, yeah, we want to go like ride with this guy, like he seems awesome. And so he took us on a field trip, just like 5 or 10 of us, which sounds kind of like gnarly now with like get into a van with your gym teacher, but it was totally legit. And he took us to the Watershed, and we rode around, and Matt, you're familiar with the Gravity Bowl.
Yeah.
We got there, and like a couple of the kids that went were quite good at mountain biking. I'm not really sure how, like they were just naturally better at it, and they rode the Gravity Bowl, and I was like, oh my God. And for the people that don't know, the Gravity Bowl is this giant,
it's like a valley. It just goes down and then up.
Down, it's nothing. Yeah, it goes straight down and straight back up. It's
when
just
you're a
very high
kid,
speed.
it seems huge.
Yeah.
And you get a feeling in your stomach, like you lose your stomach at the bottom.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster when you get to the top of the roller coaster and you drop in. And I saw that, and that was like the switch in my brain where I was like, this is the sickest thing ever. And so that was when I started hanging out with these kids that went mountain biking, and then he took me around to Steveston and Richmond and all the like little stunts we had, like the stage drop in Steveston and the cannery jump, and these are like nothing now, but back then they were like the spots. And I broke my bike at that point, and needed to get a new one. So yeah.
And then that's when you became a dishwasher.
And that's when I became a dishwasher.
Full circle.
We're learning things here.
Wow.
Yeah. No, shout out Mr. Nelstrop. He was the gym teacher.
So what did you think you were going to do like after high school? What was the dream?
I think by that point it was probably a little bit like maybe I could be a pro mountain biker, or like maybe I could make a living as like a mountain biker, but there wasn't an avenue unless you were super good. Like at either like a slope style discipline or a downhill racing discipline. There was no like content creator, mountain biker career path. Right. There wasn't even like enduro rider, which is a different discipline. Not really. And so I was like, well, I'll just work at a bike shop, which is my interest. And then I'll just keep saving money by not spending a bunch on bike parts, save up, and try and get better at biking. And hopefully that just works out. There was no plan. I didn't go to like university or college or anything, mostly because I think those are good places if you know what you want to do and you're committed to it. But I didn't, and I didn't just want to like spend money on student loans, not knowing really what I wanted to do.
I mean, and that's an interesting perspective based on your history of having to work so hard for the things you got. So many people just went to university as a default because, I mean, so many of them just get it paid for and whatever. And you're like grinding at 12 to get your own bike. So you're kind of like, well, I'm going to make sure this education does something for me.
Yeah, no, totally. That was like absolutely my mentality.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I just did it because I had no better idea. And I paid for it myself, but I was like, I don't know, I guess I'll go to university.
Yeah, totally.
Get a degree, see what happens. Maybe I'll get inspired.
Yeah, I don't think there's a right or wrong. Like,
no.
My plan also was like, I guess I'll just work at this bike shop and see what happens. So.
But I appreciate that you were doing something that was based in a passion at least, and you were just like, yeah, like you just keep going there and stuff will happen for you, which it did. So
I want to ask the like most frequently asked question ever, I feel like, to both of us. What is a good beginner mountain bike?
Oh my!
Because I feel like people have asked me so many times over the years, and my answer is ask Jason. Jason just has like better. He's just more knowledgeable and just legitimately would have a better answer than I would.
Yeah, Jesus, it depends. There's so many variables, but
someone literally just asked me today.
Oh wow! I always say what I did, which was for riding in Richmond and the North Shore, I got a hardtail with good brakes and good suspension, and my price budget was always like $1,000-ish, and that will get you a pretty decent starting point A hardtail, way less service needed. It teaches you the fundamentals of riding smoother because it's a bit of a rougher ride. And then when you sell it, it's usually a little bit easier to sell because there isn't all like the frame bearings and weird things that can go wrong with full suspensions. That's what I would say. And I think now like an $1,000 hardtail now is like pretty damn good mountain bike that you could ride most places, where when we were growing up, it wasn't that good. It was heavy and just the suspension wasn't good.
But where would you go though? Would you like, do you go online? You go in a store?
I would honestly try and find a good bike shop. I still think a good bike shop that makes you feel like, you know, a real person, doesn't talk down to you, is super valuable. Can help you find the right size, can help you find the right model. Maybe would even give you a bit of a discount if you're a good customer. And I'm biased because I worked in a bike shop for a lot of years, but I would still go that route. But the other route is you have a buddy who's super knowledgeable who can hopefully give you some guidance, get you into it, and maybe you can make a purchase online too. It's hard to go wrong nowadays.
Okay, so you have the bike, you get the $1,000 hardtail. What else do you need? What are the essentials? What's like the bare minimum that you need?
Helmet, a good helmet, like
full face, half shell. What type helmet? So many helmets out there.
I would go half shell. For the most part, yeah, it's just a more comfortable thing to learn how to ride with. And just from a reputable brand. Nothing that's like styrofoam from Walmart. I'd go with like a bike shop helmet, which I think you could probably get for like $70-ish now. But yeah, definitely a helmet. And then really you could just go riding. Like that would be it. But like a good pair of shoes, shorts are nice, an athletic top. I don't know. Watch How to Buy a Mountain Bike, our video on IFHT Films. I went mountain biking in that kit, so
yeah, there is a lot of truth to that video. Like sometimes I send that over and I'm like, there is some truth here. Like
it's not far off.
You start with any bike and
now you can clip this and send it to people.
Yeah,
this is the purpose. Okay, I'm literally just gonna send the time code. But what about people ask, okay, I have the bike, I got the helmet. Now where do I go?
Oh my god.
I mean, I'll usually say just download Trail Forks.
Yeah.
And like just find like a green trail or a blue trail.
Yeah.
But you said just go ride, just go outside, go out your door. What do you recommend?
I would download a map app like Trail Forks, or like depends where you live. A lot of places will have, like North Vancouver has like cycling maps online that you can kind of like browse through and start on the greens, start as easy as possible. If you live near a bike
park, Dave?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay.
If you live near a bike park, go to a bike park. You do have to pay for a lift ticket, but the hardest part, I think, when I've gone out with like newer mountain bikers is climbing to the top of the trail. And they're so fatigued by the time they get to the top that they're very sloppy on the way down. So the bike park takes that out. You get to ride the chairlift, you're at the top, and you can really focus on getting down. And usually the green trail is so well manufactured that like you're going to be pretty safe going down it. And very true for Whistler, like Easy does it. It's like super safe. And I think that's the quickest way to get better.
Dave, you want to go to the bike park with us?
I'm scared.
It's normal. It'll be okay.
It's normal.
We'll take care of you.
Yeah, that's how you get good. What was your like, how did you get good at biking?
At biking?
Yeah, because we didn't have, like when we grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, we didn't have Trail Forks. We didn't have cycling maps. We didn't have trails in Richmond. Really?
Well, I mean, I went with my dad a lot, so I had I was fortunate to be able to go for rides with him a lot. And I feel like I just rode CBC the other day for the first time in a while. CBC is like super popular old trail now at the top of Seymour. Starts at the top of the CBC radio towers and goes down from there. And it's notoriously a really gnarly, bumpy trail. And I feel like just riding that like probably 50 times over the course of 4 or 5 years, just kind of like without me even noticing, made me a better rider. So the shore is like bound to make you a better rider. But I also feel like, I don't know. I mean, especially after meeting you and Wesley and Mike and our group of friends who we loved like making mountain bike videos with, you wanted to become better because you wanted a better photo.
Yeah,
so you wanted that better moment in the air. So,
Yeah.
and then you're like literally feeding off each other, looking at play the sound.
Oh yeah, we got it.
Just feeding off each other.
There it is.
Oh,
the OG.
The OG.
That's Matt Hunter from The Collective?
Seasons.
Made
by The Collective.
Yeah. Dave, we need more soundboard hits. Perfect. Gold.
Sorry, I feel like we're having kind of like a not like silly like joking
Yeah,
around.
this is like a comedy podcast, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. Everywhere we promote the podcast, it says comedy podcast.
Yeah,
Now it's interview podcast.
yeah, there'll be comedy in there.
People's in blogs.
We can make jokes.
No, we can, but Jason's talking about not having a dad, and I'm not going to be like,
I would have been sick. I would have loved it.
I don't know if I feel like it's just practice. I don't know. Other than just doing it over and over again, getting obsessed with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the video and the photo aspect of it. I mean,
Yeah.
we also had like the jumps in my backyard. So you and I spent a lot of time just like building the jumps, and then you're building the jumps, learning like so many aspects of like what's gonna give you air, what's gonna not be sketchy, what, building a landing, all that. I don't know. It's like more than just like showing up at the bike park or showing up at jumps that are already made for you and like actually sculpting them yourselves.
Yep.
Sculpting them yourself gives you a better understanding of like what's actually happening
Yeah.
when you're riding your bike.
Yeah.
Which is good. I don't know, just like getting involved in all aspects. And I feel like just asking people questions, even like not being afraid to ask the people around you who are also on bikes, like, how do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you so good at that? Just like, feeding off each other.
Definitely.
That's it.
it's like getting good at anything though, right? You get obsessed enough that you're just trying to figure out ways to get better, and so it just happens.
Yeah,
It's like
definitely.
you want to do the thing, so like, how do I do the thing?
I want to get into the video stuff, but I feel like, how do I interview Jason? I already know the answers. I mean, I feel like I know. There's so much I know, but I guess there's even more I don't know.
I guess it's the kind of stuff about, not the facts of it, but like what his experience was like, Like, what did it feel like? So you made, so fast forward a bit. We can always jump around in time, but
Yeah.
you started working with Matt. I know, you guys were doing mountain bike videos together, but then you started to do the comedy ones. Like, what did it feel like when people started actually seeing them? Like, were you stoked?
It felt honestly a lot like when we were in class in elementary school, falling down in front of a bunch of students and people laughing. That like not instant gratification, but gratification from peers. Because when we first started doing IFHT, it went on Facebook. So the people who saw those videos were our friends. And like seeing the likes come in the comments from people who are like sometimes your toughest critics, and maybe someone like that's kind of a friend would be like, yo, that was so funny. And you're like, oh, yo, this guy said it was funny. Like that keeps you going, I guess, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's interesting that you guys started in Facebook, because I didn't have Facebook in high school because I'm a couple years older.
You're so cool.
No, yeah, I just opted out. No, I got Facebook my first semester of university. But my friend Mike and I, we made videos. We just started on YouTube. So we didn't get that sort of personalized feedback. It was very anonymous.
Right.
So even if you got like a like or a comment, right, it's a username. It's, it's not your friends on Facebook. So yeah, that's really interesting, and how that would impact your confidence and all kinds of things. Seeing the names of like Jimmy from, English class.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, it's cool when you get a comment from someone that you would expect them to be supportive, but it even to this day, it means a lot when someone unsuspecting that you didn't realize would fuck with you or think you're funny or appreciate your work. It does reach out, and you're like, wow, that's makes you want to keep going.
Definitely. Yeah. No, feedback is like the good or bad usually is like quite a motivator.
Good is usually, well, yeah, I guess.
No,
bad.
even constructive or I guess I shouldn't say bad, like constructive. If it's like,
Yeah.
I like this, but like, what if you did this next time or whatever? It's like, fuck, great idea. Yeah, I should do that.
So you've been the face of many videos. I mean, like, why? You're definitely in more videos than me. Maybe, I don't know. Across the two YouTube channels, maybe that's not true actually.
Across
No,
IFHT, I
But
think.
like, you are in many films like the main actor.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, it's like, I might even be able to answer that. I don't even know. Let's work this out, guys.
Yeah, let's work it out. I feel like you might have been more into cameras and camera work than I was and am, maybe. That's a good question.
I feel like you're just funnier.
Maybe.
You just like, we could
I'll
give you a
never say
line and
that.
I mean, I don't want to make this like sound like mean,
Yeah.
but I just feel like people just, and I don't think I'm wrong, but people sometimes they just see you and they just laugh and they're just in a good mood, you know?
I'll take
like-
that as best I can.
Like-
no, I'm kidding. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, you just have that about you that people you're just jolly guy.
Mhm.
They like to see you.
I think you're very approachable and like you exude a warmth that people really like. So I don't think it's that, you look funny.
No.
It's more of just like Will Ferrell isn't like a weird looking guy, but you just look at him and you're like, oh, it's fucking.
But Jason's
you
got
know.
great expressions though.
He does.
His eyebrows, you gotta ensure
These
those
pillars.
eyebrows.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had
You have
eyebrows in
excellent
the
faces.
intro and I left it out by accident.
Oh,
I
that would
know.
have gotten you a 9 at
Oh,
least.
What would you have said though? Say something.
I was gonna say the best eyebrows in mountain biking.
Wow. In mountain biking, probably.
You do have great expressions though. You killed Brooke the other day with your hot sauce face in the Wismas video.
It's so funny too, because like you said that, I'm like, that was just my face. Like I wasn't like putting on a character. Like
That's what I'm saying.
That was legitimate. Like it was a fucking hot sauce, and I was dying a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I think there was some point when I realized like, oh, Jason's got great faces. And then like when we were like showing our videos around, people would laugh at like the same moments where I was like, oh, Jason made the funny face here. Like that works.
Right,
It
right, right.
works. Keep doing the face. And then also, I guess there's some truth to like, I like being behind the camera. Maybe that was also like an insecurity where I just didn't feel like I was very good at acting. And
That was
but
my
you
assumption.
You also don't think that you're good at acting, but I think you're good at acting.
I think I can act well. I don't think I'm an actor. Like
Yeah.
it's like the same thing as like we were talking about this earlier, cook versus chef, right? Like you can cook well, but you're not a trained chef.
You'd be doing a disservice to the people who put in like their blood, sweat, and tears and whole life
It's
into
not
acting, right?
It's not fair to call yourself an actor, really.
Yeah, whatever. You're doing it.
Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of like that. I think Seth Rogen is an interesting example because I think he's developed into kind of a better actor, but his thing so much before was just he had this sort of goofy likability about him, and everyone would always be like, "Oh, Seth Rogen's just being Seth Rogen."
Yeah.
I think there's like a Jason-ness there where you're kind of just lending your personality traits, and sometimes you'll do like a goofy voice or a goofy character, but it's within a certain sort of spectrum.
Yeah. No, it would be sweet to like do more of that stuff, like more drama or like more, I guess, stylized character wise. Like I'm trying to think of what we've done so far.
Well, you
In a
did some
piece.
character work in How to Be a DJ with DJ Vaughn Van
Oh,
Cran. You
yeah.
crushed that.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
maybe
You
your
had
best
an
role.
accent. You had a whole
Yeah.
different persona. You got your hair cut. You got a fade.
Yeah. First and only.
That was
Wait.
sick.
Maybe I have something I could play.
There you go.
There you go. Nice one. Yeah, that's true.
Out
That's
of
true.
all the videos that we've done over the years, your face has been seen hundreds of millions of times.
That's fair.
What do you think that you have been recognized the most for in your life when people come up to you and say, you're the blank guy?
Shit Canadians Day.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Like, especially when that came out, that was probably,
That was 2010 or
yeah,
11?
2010
12,
or
something
11.
like that? Yeah.
that was like the one that we made that like people were coming up to me a lot, like random people on the street, and they're like, "Oh, you're that guy." Before that, it definitely happened, but not that much. And since then, not that much, unless we're like in a bike park or something.
It's peak YouTube time though.
Yeah,
You know what
things
I
were
mean?
like going big
Yeah.
time viral.
Peak YouTube time. You guys were young guys, and the people you knew were young people watching those videos, and you were going out places where those people were watching those videos.
Everybody and their dog had a shit people say type video.
Yeah.
It was like there was like a mad scramble for like a year of like, what? How many different topics can we cover?
Yeah. 100%.
That was I remember though, that was like almost where I was like, oh man, this is kind of annoying, because like people would be like, yo, it's the guy, yo, say the thing, and I'm like, oh, could be a deer though. And they're like, oh, you said it. I'm like, do I ask for money now? Or like, how does this work?
And you became a very rich man.
Yeah.
One loony at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you got a loony? Yeah, well, I expected that answer. I was curious, though.
Yeah.
I wasn't certain there was going to be that answer, but there were so many times where I was with you and you were being recognized for that video. And, you know, up until that point, I feel like you and I were mostly in the videos together and people would kind of recognize us together. And then that was like a turning point where it was like, oh, Jason's getting recognized way more than I am. And I'm beside you and people are like, oh my God, it's the guy from Canadian. And they'd ask me to take a picture of you and the fan.
I'm sorry.
And no, I was always very stoked, but I was like, just something for me to get used to where I'm like, oh, this is just Jason's time to shine. But I recall, I don't know if I've talked about this on another podcast, but we were at the top of Silver Star years ago at a bar and someone recognized you from Shit Canadians Say.
Okay.
And I think I had our first merch ever, and I fucking hate that shirt on. And they were so stoked to see you. And then they're just going on and on like about like how much they love that video. And then they turned to me and they read my shirt and they said, I fucking hate that. What's that?
Oh, damn. I don't remember that. What? Silver Star?
You don't remember that? And
No.
I think there was like a guy that looked like you too. We found your doppelganger.
I remember that. Okay, so it was that trip. Okay.
I even feel like it's just the fact that you have a recognizable face. Maybe it's the eyebrows or something,
Yeah.
but people are so quick to spot you and know that it's you. And I feel
Yeah.
like,
People always tell me I just look like guys they know.
yeah, that I kind of get the same. They're like, oh, you look familiar. I don't know.
They'll be
I
like,
don't
oh,
know
you
why."
remind me of my friend Jeffrey. And I'm like,
Generic white guy.
all right, fuck.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I get a lot of people going like, oh, I know your brother. I'm like, I don't have a brother. And they're like, no, you do. I'm like, no, I don't.
Classic.
What are you doing? You can play sound? Oh,
You don't have one loaded. Oh,
oh, there you go.
appropriate.
All right, sorry.
Well, where should we take this interview, guys? I mean,
Do we want to hit another heavy,
another heavy one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, go for it. I mean, Dave wrote out a whole list of questions here. I did not contribute.
Matt's
Maybe
been
I should-
crushing this interview though. I'm so impressed.
Oh, nice.
I'm crushing.
So-
Am I dominating it?
No, I mean, you're doing a really great job.
Oh, thank you.
No, I've honestly been thinking, you know, because we've been releasing episodes and so I've been going through them and thinking about them more and you know, looking at other podcasts and what they do well. And since we are an interview podcast, I'm kind of like, oh, like we should have really good interviews. And this is actually not that any of our other ones weren't good, but I'm like, this is feeling like a good interview.
Oh, hot.
So
Hit him with a
button
hard hitting question. Let's go.
Favorite type of sauce.
What made you decide to leave IFHT Films?
He's still a part of IFHT. What are you talking about? Did he ever
I
leave?
never left.
Clarify. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do I mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, there was a point at which it was more of a full-time thing, and then he went for another pink mistress, you know?
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Oh, this is a great podcast title. Yeah, for the people who don't know or like just new to the podcast. So Matt and I did videos for a long time before we did it full time. And Matt did it full time for a while before I did it full time with him. But once that happened, it was IFHT Films and we made commercials and we made mountain bike videos and all this sort of stuff for, I want to say 3 years full time.
Not 3.
Two and a bit.
Yeah, maybe 1 to 2. Yeah.
2 and a bit. Full time. That was our full time job.
2018, maybe was it?
I think it was 2017.
I think like what I quit my like job making videos for NSMB, and then I decided, well, let's take it full time. And I feel like I did that for a year, and then felt like, oh crap, I think this could be two people working full time.
Yeah.
So was it? And then you and I, we must have been like 2 years.
I think it was at least 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, did that for 2 years.
What did we make in that time? Did we go to Corsica, France? We made the first Trek
That was
ad.
the first. Yeah, if you guys search Trek Powerfly Corsica,
Yeah,
you'll probably find it.
We must have did How to Bees.
Yeah, we
with
did
CBC.
6 How to Bees with CBC with
Right.
Dave and Mike as well, helping out on that one. And then I think we did a decent amount of like back then it was called Matt and Jason, not Mahalo My Dude.
Right.
But it was that style of content, very vloggy and adventure-y. I broke my ankle. I flipped my foot around. That was a fun time.
Yeah, so we made a lot of good stuff in that period.
Made a ton of good stuff. And I think we did make How to Buy a Mountain Bike too. So like the trajectory was actually going up. Like there was, it was quite, it was popping off, as the kids say.
On God.
On God. Poutine.
No cap.
For real.
For real. And I think it was like the fall of 2018 when Pink Bike approached me saying they were looking to expand on their video team and they wanted to make a serious push. And I think I kind of saw it as like maybe like a more like formal job at the time, because even Matt and I were like obviously making things, and like it is a company, and we're making money doing it. But I was like, well, this is a more formal thing, and I can help grow a team from the ground up, because they did video, but not really. And I was like, this is like, for me, a lot of experience can come along with this, and I can learn a lot that I might not learn at IFHT. So I think that was my mindset, and I'm trying to remember, like trying to get into that mental space again. And I think that was my mindset going into it. And also like there is a little bit of it that's like Pink Bike is one of the things that fucking made me get into mountain biking.
Yeah, you grew up reading
Like,
Pink Bike every day.
Read Pink Bike every day, bought and sold so many things on the buy and sell on that site, and like worshipped, still to some degree, like worship the ground underneath that company. And so it was like kind of starry-eyed as well, that they were like reaching out to me. And
a young Jason Lucas wouldn't have expected that you'd have that opportunity.
No.
Yeah.
No. So I think all those things combined, it sort of made sense. And I knew also that it was going to be like very hard and awkward to leave. And when you're in the public eye, like we all are now, any move you make is like, can be construed in so many ways. Like the immediate thing is like, Matt and Jason had a fight, now they hate each other and they beat each other up, and like Jason walked away with a black eye and he hates everyone now, and really that didn't happen at all. Like that would never beat me in a fight.
I remember that you actually someone offered you the like job you thought about for like 3 months, and you didn't really like do anything about it or take any action. And then you thought about it more, and then you called me because you actually didn't know if you should take the job or not, but you just Dave, what are you doing? You're turning my headphones up and down.
Sorry,
get distracted.
Sorry, no, I was
Play
trying
the
to.
Chewbacca sound.
I was trying to adjust my own,
Dude,
and I
the
thought
interview was going so well. Now we're gonna have to cut this out. I got 10 minutes until this card on the camera runs
man.
out.
Oh shit!
I gotta fit all of these hard-hitting questions in 10 minutes. Better talk fast.
I mean, we could also just only use these angles for the rest of it.
You genuinely didn't know what to do, and you and I had a conversation, and you were like, I feel like this is something that I would like to try, and I didn't want to like say like, no, you can't do that, because I was like, yeah, you should go do that. And it was more of a question of, well, you also at that time you weren't loving editing, and I feel like we needed more editing power, and I had an opportunity to work with Kaz and Santos, and then after you did leave, that's when I decided to work with Andrew and Kaz full time, and it just started like a different chapter. Yeah, and it's funny. I definitely agree that when you're in the public eye, you make these like personal choices that are just kind of like harmless. There's no like bad intent or anything, and then people just overthink it and they want all the answers, and it's like, I guess you got to give them the answers. And
Kind of do to some degree.
and
I mean,
for like 1 year, it was in the comments for every video on Mahalo, like, what happened to Jason?
Where's Jason?
And we would answer it. We would answer it. We would let people know. Like, at a
sure.
certain point, we couldn't say, I guess, because it wasn't announced that you. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyways, we would answer it, but then, one video later, someone else would answer. Not everybody knows. So we just realized, like, you know what? Some people, it's just going to take time for this to catch on to for people to even realize what happened.
definitely.
Yeah. But in that time, you and I were still working.
We still did stuff.
Yeah. It was just more like you had that full-time gig, and then you would work with us on more like a freelance basis. And I feel like it was actually during your time with Pink Bike that we made How to Buy a Mountain Bike. No?
We made Time to Buy an E-Bike.
Okay,
the
yeah.
sequel.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was
then-
super hard to find days to work with you because you were so busy at Pink Bike.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think my first year there, I took 35 flights. So out of the 52 weeks of the year, that was a lot of flying.
So in short, how was your time working at Pink Bike?
Oh, for the most part, awesome. Like it's funny when you go into something like that where, and I bet people still, well now maybe even more so because they're bought by outside. So they are part of a big thing now. But even back then I was like, this is a big company. And I remember going to the office in Squamish and it was like 10 people.
Yeah.
And I was like, where's everyone else? And they're like, this is everyone. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And like, it was cool that it was such a tech startup feel, because it really allows you, if you're a creator and have strong opinions, you can bring those to the forefront and make those ideas happen and like make quicker decisions and like, hey, I want to do this series, and like the sales team will help you sell it. And so there's aspects to that which are really awesome and help you learn and grow and do all those things. And then there's also the like less, like with IFHT, we kind of make what we want all the time, where with Pink Bike you definitely can put your stamp on things and make things you want to make, but you got to make a lot of things and you got to see the growth and like hit targets and make sure you're, you know, it's the world's biggest mountain bike website and they want to stay the world's biggest mountain bike website. So you got to be part of that machine helping it grow, which is super doable with the resources they have, but it's a lot of work. The internet never stops. The internet never sleeps.
Yeah, it was a ton of work. I didn't know until like a few weeks ago that you uploaded a YouTube video every single day for Pink Bike.
Pretty much, yeah. Like the last year I was there was, I think we made like 350 videos. So like basically every video a day. But when there is events like a Crankworks or a World Cup, sometimes there's like 4 videos in a day. So that kind of.
And then on top of that,
Excuse
you're
things.
also starring in many videos and coming up with concepts. And then you did the Pink Bike Academy.
Yeah, it was funny too, because like that type of like when I was hired, I was never intended to be on camera very much at all. Like they wanted to hire presenters to be on camera, which I agree with, because the
And
moment
they said,
you-
wow, look at those eyebrows.
Yeah.
Let's get this guy in front of the camera.
they were like, well, yeah, you got a background in that. You can do this one. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do this one. And then that one became 2 and 3 and then 4 and then like
So they squeezed you dry, did they?
I was wrung. But then the whole idea for Pink Bike Academy came around, and I was not supposed to be the host at all for the first season. But I'm gonna blame COVID. Fucking COVID.
Supply chain.
We had a host lined up who was not me.
I didn't know this.
I don't think I can say who. But
Matt Dennison.
yeah.
You took the job from me.
That's a chimpanzee.
A chimpanzee was originally going to host.
They got someone much worse than a chimpanzee, and because literally because of COVID, it was like, well, who's here? And I was like, well, I guess I'm here, and I'm pretty connected to the show, and I helped write a lot of the episodes, so I know like the flow and the vibe ish that we want to do. So it just ended up being me.
The show took a lot of heat in the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
How was it handling that? Because it was the first time that like Mountain Bike World had seen like a reality inspired show, and there was a lot of excited people and a lot of upset people.
Exactly,
And it's Pink Bike, and they're vocal.
And the comment section of Pink Bike is not a nice place. For the most part, it is, but there are definitely some super gnarly comments.
Notoriously chaotic.
Yeah, for sure. It's like YouTube in the early days. What was the question?
Oh, yeah,
the heat.
Yeah, the heat.
I think it was like how you said the mountain bike world had never seen anything like that. I or the Pink Bike had never created anything like that. So we were like, okay, how dramatic do we go? Like, how reality TV show do we go? How core mountain bike do we go? Do we try and blend it? Do we try and cater to one side? And I think for that first season, we tried to go more reality, more drama, and we just took a shot in the dark, really. Like there was no way no focus group. There was no like blueprint. So we did that. And I think it was like, I think I'm really proud of that season and like just making the thing, especially during COVID and getting all those people together and logistics, and like no one got sick and everyone made it. There was no major issue with the production. I'm super proud of that, but I was like, this is definitely a building block pilot season. It's kind of like when you go back and look at like Big Brother season 1, it's like, I don't even think that it's the same show. Like it's a totally different thing. But they did it, they got it done. And then you go into season 2 and you make it better, which I definitely think we did in season 2.
Kind of like this podcast. We're currently in the bad episodes. Just wait till the good ones come.
Exactly.
You'll be waiting a while.
Exactly.
I think this one's a banger.
Absolute banger.
Banger.
We got like 6 minutes if we're going to wrap this up on one memory card. That's all we got because I'm recording in 6K. I don't have a lot.
Whoa.
It's a lot of Ks.
Hey, so you're you're also the host of, I don't know if I call you the host or like the victim of the drop to flat.
Oh, the Huck to Flat?
Huck to flat.
Yeah. That was one of those things where it was like, oh man, none of the bike testers want to do this thing because they could
Can you
get
explain
hurt.
what it is?
Sorry. So Pink Bike has a series called the Field Test, which is where they get 10 to 15 mountain bikes all together at once and all the tech editors together at once, and they test those bikes back to back to back. A ton of review videos come out, but there's also these like flavor videos that come out that are like total pseudoscience. One is the Huck to Flat, where we jump a bike off a ramp and film it with a phantom camera, and you just see it compress.
Phantom camera films in 1,000 frames per second.
1,000 frames per second. So you see the bike compress very slowly. The thing is, to jump a bike like that to flat, you have to go decently high, and you need to be decently heavy to make the bike fully bottom out and make it flex. So as these things happen,
Did you sign up or you got
I was like
nominated?
I was more a nomination / like, could you do it? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I can do it. I can jump these bikes. And they were like, you're in.
This guy said he could do it.
Yeah. And all the normal tech editors were like, I don't want to do that. Like, that sounds painful. And I was like, okay.
There must have been a little part of you that wanted to do it though.
Definitely. I mean, it's fun. And I don't think I was thinking long term where it's like, oh, if I do one, now I got to do all of them.
Yeah.
And so, jumped a bunch of bikes to flat. I broke a couple, which is hilarious.
You broke a bike?
Yeah, 2 bikes.
Oh, wow.
2 bikes broke, which is super funny. Not really. Like, I'm glad I didn't get hurt or like, yeah, but it's not supposed to be a test. Like no bike should actually break under that test. It's not a very big jump. It's maybe like 4 to 5 feet to flat, and it makes for good internet.
And you broke a crank too?
Yeah, sorry. I guess it was 1 bike and 1 crank.
You nearly broke your ankle.
Yeah. I've got a good frame grab of like my foot flipped around again.
Good God.
And
Same ankle?
no, the other one.
Different
perfect.
ankle. And you've broken both your ankles now?
Yeah. The left one I broke when I was quite a bit younger. Not as gnarly. I didn't flip it around, but yeah.
Ooh, okay. How much time do we have left?
Oh, we got about like 5 minutes.
Should we do this or that, or should we ask any more questions?
Ask your question. Oh, my alarm's
What
going off.
was your first impression of Matt when you met him?
Do you even remember being in love?
Yeah. Do you remember? I want to say, I think it was probably based on his like bike ability. And he was a pretty damn good bike rider from our crew. Or like, I was like, oh wow, yeah, this guy can ride. Like, was it at the skate? It must have been at the Richmond skate park.
I don't know, either dirt jump, skate park.
It was at some place where it's very quickly obvious how good of a rider you are, basically.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow, yeah, he's like good at mountain bikes. And he had like a nice a trick called the tabletop where you turn the bike sideways. And I was like, fuck, this guy can shred.
I feel like there's like certain lines at your riding spot where you know, like, oh, that person can do that line. Oh,
Right.
So
Totally.
we probably worked pretty hard to like get those ones dialed.
And at that age, that's all you notice. Like you don't pick up on personality cues when you're 14. It's more just like, oh, he just jumps bigger than me. Oh man, I got to do those jumps.
All right, well, we got 5 minutes left on the clock here, so we did do a little this or that. Are you down for a little this or that, Jason?
Fuck, I love this game. I love playing it with other people, so I'm stoked to play.
Okay, anyways, I got to get right into it because we don't have much time here. Are you ready, Jason
Yes.
Lucas, for the this or that? We have 20 this or that's. Go. A-line or dirt merchant?
Dirt merchant.
Really? I thought it would be A-line.
Dirt merchant.
2, climb or shuttle?
Shuttle.
3, Whistler or the North Shore?
Whistler.
Slash or Session?
Session.
James Bond or Mission Impossible?
James Bond.
MacGruber or Hot Rod?
Hot Rod.
Earls or Cactus Club?
Earls.
Now I thought it would be Cactus Club. Great burgers there.
Earls is
Sandwiches or burritos?
Burritos.
I thought it would be sandwiches. Big sandwich guy. Wow. Learning lots here today, huh? Aren't we, Dave? JJ Bean or Bean Around the World?
JJ Bean.
Jeez, this guy's good. This one's a tough one, courtesy of Brooke. Birkenstocks or Blundstones?
Oh. That is good.
Whoa.
Birkenstocks, but they won't survive the winter, so I gotta go Blundstones.
That one stumped him. Nick Kroll or Andy Samberg?
Andy Samberg.
Zombies or vampires?
To do what?
I don't know. Dave wrote this one.
I found it on Google.
Cool.
Zombies.
Being able to fly or to read people's minds?
Fly.
Hot coffee or iced coffee?
Iced coffee.
Pale ales or IPAs?
IPA.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
Cake or pizza?
Pizza.
Robots or dinosaur? Wait, no, hold on. Cake or pie?
Pizza.
Cake or pizza. You know, those are always your options in life.
Robots or dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs.
All right, and the biggest stumper of all, Matt or Dave?
Matt.
Oh, hey, you see that? Hear that one, Peter Chow? If you're listening, someone likes me.
Dave, nothing personal. It's just
Nothing.
That's fine.
It sounds entirely personal.
yeah, it is.
Fuck my life.
Well, I appreciate that. I can sleep happily tonight. Thanks for letting us feed off you, Jason. You guys feeling good about that one?
Yeah, I feel full.
I hope I gave you guys some good meat.
Jason or Dave, sorry. Do you have you did the intro thing? Do you have an outro thing dialed?
I do.
Do it.
Do it.
Hurry.
Please remember to subscribe and leave a rating wherever you're listening. And feel free to leave a question for us in the comments on YouTube. And we might just answer it on an episode and give you a shout out.
And let us know who you want to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want your ideas.
Also, check us out on Instagram at Feeding Off Each Other as well.
Don't tell me what to do.
Oh, okay. Then don't do it.
Nah, that's more like it. All right. Well, thanks, Jason. We know you're a busy guy, and you got some more pizzas to eat. So
Pizza.
get out of here.
Pizza.
Bye.
Bye.
Nom, nom, nom.
Thank you for listening to Feeding Off Each Other. Please subscribe for more great podcasts.